case of the woman with hemorrhaging for 12 years, her ailment was as much social as it was personal, for she was ostracized from community life. She was isolated and alone in personal misery. Her healing meant that she could once again be a whole person, contributing to the life of family and village. Trusting God resulted in more than staunching the flow of blood, as vital as that was to her health. It made her whole again, a complete and worthy person. Now, some might say that attending to one person's need delays meeting that of another. And you can imagine an impatient Jairus taking Jesus by the arm and saying, "I asked you first. Come on, let's get moving." When all goes well, we'll hear our prayers were answered. And then when Jairus' daughter dies, it becomes a sign that God was not doing enough for him, that others were more worthy. A rather simplistic view rationalizes unanswered prayer to say that God must be attending to others in line before us, as in the woman with the hemorrhage. God's not limited to our rationalizations, and such a view contradicts Scripture. Perhaps in our struggle to understand sickness, evil, and death, the bigger picture is obscured by our pain and sorrow. So we strive to make every miracle story a template for the resolution of our personal conditions. But instead, the purpose of those stories is to illustrate Jesus' ultimate power over sin and death. In John's Gospel, when Jesus hears of his friend Lazarus' death, his illness, he says, "This sickness is not fatal. It will become an occasion to show God's glory by glorifying God's Son." Faith is required. First, to commit our lives to God's care, where real security is. And then, to wait upon God to disclose how our present circumstance is to be used for God's glory. How often we expect things to go our way, and when they don't, we bemoan our fate. We imagine how things would have been better had that accident or illness or family tragedy been avoided. We don't recognize the fact that there is always another catastrophe that is just one more step away. Rather, what is required is a change of heart that reconstructs our worldview from God's perspective. That is called metanoia, a turning away from unhealthy, useless patterns of thought to a new one. And then, with the mind of Christ, whoever we are, whatever we have to offer, from full strength to disability of mind or body, can be used for God's glory. And God's not stingy, for blessings abound and will be enjoyed. The Special Olympics and the contributions of many of our disabled American veterans are good examples. Faith is what leads the way. So in conclusion, interruptions and distractions will always intrude on our best made plans. That's life on one plane. But our lives have a cruciform shape revealed by faith. Jesus prayed for his disciples not to be taken out of the world, but to become holy persons, whole persons, who would reshape the world according to God's design. And faith enables us to see others and our circumstance through the eyes of Christ, and perceive with greater clarity how God is at work in us to advance God's reign of wholeness, justice, and peace.